Morning, everybody. Glad you could join us. We'll give you a few seconds to get everybody logged in here, and we'll begin shortly. Again, good morning, everybody. We're giving folks a couple of minutes to get logged in here, and we'll begin our webinar in just a few minutes. Hi, all. If you're just joining us, we're giving folks a minute to get logged in here, and we will begin shortly. Glad to have you with us. All right, it is 10:02. Let's go ahead and get started. Once again, good morning, everybody, and thank you for your time this morning, and glad you were able to join us as we discuss a vendor town hall in reference to our bulk purchase options that we are currently planning, and we are glad you could join us and provide some input this morning. So before we get started, let's cover a couple of housekeeping items. Just a reminder that you can change your audio by switching between computer and phone. We want to remind everybody that everybody is muted this morning, but if you have questions or if you have something to address with the group, please open your Q&A box and put your questions in there, and we'll take time to answer those as we go today. We do have everybody muted, but if you have a question, you can raise your hand, and if you need to speak, we can certainly make that happen. Before we get started, if you would, please raise your hands real quick and let us know that you can hear us pretty clearly this morning so we have a good audio connection. Excellent. See several hands going up. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. We will be making a handout available after the webinar this morning, so look for that as we are completed. So let's go ahead and get started with our webinar, and I will turn it over to Ike O'Neill, our Director of our Contract Management Office.
Thank you, Tom, and good morning, everyone. I think most of you here know me and have interacted in bulk purchase, so this will be as informative as I can make it and as interactive as we can make it as well in terms of talking about our bulk purchase program. So again, for those that may not know, I'm Ike O'Neill, the Director of the Contract Management Office here at DIR. And again, feel free to raise hands or participate, submit your questions online, and we'll get through this presentation. Next slide. So just real quick, I wanted to remind everyone here about DIR's mission and vision. And of course, one of the things that we do in support of this is leveraging the bulk purchase initiatives that we have so that we are protecting and meeting the best value for Texas government. Next slide. And again, more background as a reminder for this group, as you all engage with DIR and our customers routinely. Through the years, the program offerings have expanded and strengthened with the coordination and guidance of IT through the various offerings that are displayed here among the various programs, like information security, our shared technology services, our technology planning and policy group. So all of these things are representative of those offerings and programs that DIR supports for the state. So next slide. Here we are today to talk about the bulk purchase and what exactly is a bulk purchase. So again, for those that have participated in them in the past, it's leveraging the state's buying power for a specific price for commonly purchased commodity items. And through this rule, DIR has that authority to coordinate the bulk purchases on behalf of 2 or more customers that are in demand of computer hardware, productivity software, seat management services, and any additional IT commodity items that may produce cost savings from a bulk purchase. So customers do not need to buy in bulk to purchase through this program. The best price point is negotiated, and the bulk purchase will allow a customer to simply issue a PO based on that agreement and the pricing in that agreement. Next slide. So covering some of the thresholds and rules for state agencies, the procedural requirements following the threshold rules for obtaining multiple quotes and their limits on contract value do not apply to their purchase when they're making that under a bulk purchase program. In Texas Government Code, it specifically states that DIR shall negotiate a specific price for commonly purchased commodity items. And again, the procedural requirements and limitations of state agencies do not apply to their purchase commodity items when they're purchasing under the bulk purchase. And the General Appropriations Act states that the department shall coordinate bulk purchase efforts for those items that I described earlier: computers, laptops and tablets, productivity software. We may do seat management services, and again, any additional IT commodity items that may produce cost savings. And through that, by December 1, 2022 this year, we shall report to the LBB that cost savings that's realized through the bulk purchase efforts. So this is representative of the efforts that we are undertaking here and the cost savings that we want to be able to deliver and report out to the LBB and to the state for the achievements through this program. Next slide. So again, our bulk purchase categories range. What used to be limited to the desktops, laptops, and computer hardware and peripherals has expanded into productivity software, seat management, and any IT commodity item that may result in savings. So we have done in the past security and endpoint detection response bulk purchase initiatives. So this time last year, we had surveyed customers to identify demands. And again, these were to name a few of those categories, but we're also surveying them again, and we'll be reviewing that information to feed into negotiating and establishing the new bulk purchases in the coming weeks or months ahead. Next slide. So through our past initiatives, if you haven't already seen that report, which is available on our website, for our 2020 bulk purchase report, we reported these cost savings through the initiatives that were available. So that's 21 million in customer savings. At least 56 agencies participated, and 143 other eligible customers also leveraged the bulk purchase initiatives. So again, here in complementing the co-op program, the customer eligibility is expansive here. And that's what we want to promote and serve to our customers through the program. Next slide. So logistically speaking, we're looking for a streamlined order process when we're establishing our bulk agreements. Again, customers do not need to buy in bulk. The benefits that smaller agencies with minimum quantities realize can make the purchases at the same rates as those entities with enterprise volumes. So it's helpful to our customers. We look for the vendor contact information for order taking, ensuring that the customers are referencing that bulk purchase agreement number on their PO, and making sure that our vendors are reporting on their monthly sales reports those orders that are represented under a bulk purchase by the indicator on the vendor sales report portal. So we have formatted that such that we can report on and easily obtain that bulk purchase sales through your monthly reporting. Next slide. As far as promoting bulk purchase agreements, I would say similarly to your co-op contracts, we do rely on our vendors to participate and promote those bulk purchase agreements. But in addition, we have sources of communicating to our customers that we want to support. So these include those channels that are listed here. We have an IT sourcing digest that goes out weekly to our customers. Our website has a dedicated bulk purchase program page where the agreements are published. And we can also accommodate making a connection to your specific DIR contract page and advertising it there as well. So we want to make it accessible to our customers through our website. We also promote and talk about the bulk purchase agreements through our customer trainings, and that is a routine event that happens where current bulk purchase initiatives are shared with attendees there. And again, vendor marketing is the bonus too. So engaging and promoting the bulk purchase to customers through your own campaigns and educational offerings of product promotion through the program is what will help support and engage that bulk purchase. So next slide. With that, I made it fairly straightforward in terms of what we're doing here and what we want to achieve. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to entertain those.
Hi, Eiko, this is Amy. I just thought I'd throw in here while the vendors think about their questions. Could you talk to us a little bit about your what you work on when you're actually forming the bulk agreement? That we usually have at least 2 what we'll call anchor customers to set up a volume, a known volume to help us get to that great price. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so customers will approach us and again, based on that demand, we want to take that demand and negotiate that and share that with our vendors in terms of what may be attainable or achievable for a cost savings. So I know some of you that I've spoken with in the past, we talk about, you know, a bulk purchase price and negotiating that best value. So we want to be able to deliver some level of commitment, even though there is no guarantee. We want to be able to identify those customers that have that commitment so that we can engage and deliver a an agreement that is expanded out to other customers that wouldn't have otherwise had that opportunity. So, so it's really important for us, especially when we are reporting these cost savings to the state, that we are driving based on the customer's demand a best price for these agreements. I know that customers approach our vendor community as well in terms of negotiating their purchases. And when we hear from our vendors about opportunities for bulk purchase, we really need to get in front of those customers to identify what their aggregate volumes are, what their commitments are, so that we could explore those options for bulk purchase. And with that, it looks like there are a couple of questions in the Q&A. When do bulk purchase initiatives usually start? Do they have specific end dates? So we are, part of our efforts is to collaborate with our customers and establish schedules for their buying periods. So it's a mixture of when the customers are going to be making their purchases, in addition to any terms or opportunities where the vendors may be able to promote a best price during a specific time period. So I would say that the end dates are negotiable in terms of the period of time that we would establish for a bulk purchase. And a lot of that is driven by when our customers' buying periods are. Next question, is there any interest for bulk purchases for infrastructure equipment such as servers, storage, etc.? So we have a survey out currently to our customers, and we would explore that if the customer demand is there. Absolutely. Next question, assuming there is a desire to implement a PC bulk purchase initiative in 2022, do you have a timeline that you can share? Yes, our plan is forecasted to have bulk purchase agreements as soon as negotiated in the next weeks or months, and at least through August of 2022. During a customer town hall that we recently had, we know that there is interest and buying periods for the customers through this fiscal year. So we are actively getting that information, and again, depending on when we get what their purchasing cycles are, then we'll be able to determine if there are terms that would go beyond August 22. And again, that's just an estimated forecast based on our planning for the initiatives that we want to pull together.
Heiko, I might hop on that as well. Is when we're negotiating these, it's great for our customers if it can span the fiscal year. So our state fiscal year begins September 1st. So agreements that have a few months in our fiscal year 22 through August is great. But we also have customers who are planning for their fiscal year 23 purchases. So having an agreement with that awesome rate you're going to give everybody, having that go through at least December really helps our customers be able to figure out if they need to spend the money in 22 or 23. So fiscal year 23 will start September 1 of 2022. So when you're working through those negotiations, it's great to have the ability for our customers to plan which year they want to get that purchase in. So consider that when you're setting timeframes for the price availability you want to give.
Thanks, Amy. Next question, given the current supply constraint, will the bulk purchase contract length take this into account if delivery of the product is delayed? That is definitely something that we'll want to factor in and consider in the terms of the bulk purchase agreement. So if we're anticipating or forecasting what that delivery schedule looks like for any purchases that are made, then we can consider and factor that into our agreements. That's a good question.
If we don't have questions from the vendors, I have a question for the vendors. Maybe some of you can type something in for me. What are your supply chain issues you're having right now? I know in the past things like the monitors or the glass for laptops was a challenge for you. Are you still having supply chain challenges with those sorts of things? And you could probably type it into the Q&A or the chat to give us some heads up on that. It'd be great.
While folks are typing, another question following up on the last question, when would we have notice to know when to prepare pricing for bulk purchase? In other words, are there any current deadlines that need to be met after this webinar? Great question. So we will be following this town hall up with the cast, if you will, of requests for bulk purchase agreements. So we will be sending out the form and the request. Part of it too is assimilating what feedback that we get from our customer survey. But what we know that we can go forward with now include the requests for computer hardware and some of the productivity software like DocuSign and Box. Amy was the other one.
Yes, Box is one that we've heard from some customers about. Yeah, just also if you're really trying to figure out the timing of this stuff, the customer survey is due April 18th. So that's when we'll get the information back about their needs. And so shortly thereafter is when we'll be working on negotiating those bulk agreements.
There's a feedback. Glass and panels are a current constraint along with any product or devices that require to be shipped via boat, as docks are still currently backed up. Also, with China shutting down due to another COVID outbreak, this may or may not affect the supply times and backlog. And yeah, for the comment to supply chain issues are ongoing. And that's something that is coordinated and communicated, and we can have, again, consideration in terms of what impacts that may have for our customers and how we want to manage and facilitate that through the bulk purchase agreements. Good discussion there on the constraints. I think the answer to that question may be vendor specific. Speaking for my company, laptop and desktop lead times are more in line with pre-COVID expectations. Monitors and docking stations are still on extended lead times. All of this, of course, is subject to change based on the supply chain situation. So yeah, I think the sort of the volatility there is something that we'll have to manage throughout the bulk purchase, depending on the bulk purchase type. Thank you all for that feedback. So with that, any other questions, comments? Hearing none. We really appreciate the time that you took with us to listen and hear what we're endeavoring to do. And posted here is our contact information. Again, most of you have reached out already, and so feel free to follow up with me following this if you have specific questions. And we'll be looking forward to the efforts in the coming weeks for establishing our bulk purchase agreements.
Echo, I do see one more question. Will there be a specific DIR number associated with the bulk buy, or will we reference our DIR contract number? That's a great question. The customers will often reference the bulk agreement number on their POs. This helps us associate that purchase with the bulk agreement to help with that data analysis for the reporting to LBB. They hopefully will also put your actual contract number that's associated with it, but we could correlate those should we need to. Now you will be reporting those using your DIR contract number when you send in your vendor sales report. Those will be on your reported for your contract, not the bulk purchase agreement number, but that's a good reference to have in the information, along with checking the box that it was a bulk purchase. Hope that answered your question. Okay. Thank you all.
Again, thank you very much. This concludes our presentation.